We found ourselves locked in the heart of violence, music and madness colliding in the dust-choked shadows of the power plant. Amid shattered instruments and the ragged howl of spellfire, a troupe of Scalaire musicians fought with the desperation of those who know their stories are nearly spent. The echo of drums and the shriek of strings mingled with the scent of ozone and blood. It was then that the southern doors were flung wide and the world shifted. Through the smoke stepped a figure, more nightmare than man, a tall skeletal being crowned with a stag's skull, antlers branching like charred trees above his head. With a voice raw as winter wind, he cried, "Freedom!" And with that word, his form twisted, bones and branches fusing into a monstrous wicker colossus that hurled itself into the fray at our side. This was Stag, once of the Circle of Symbiosis, his entrance a harbinger of unexpected aid during our darkest hour. The battle's fever mounted, and among the enemy, Sadier's resolve frayed into madness. Cornered by fate, he carved a crimson smile into his own throat, rather than face whatever punishment awaited him elsewhere. "I will never go back to R&D, he rasped, blood and defiance mingling at his lips. When the cacophony faded, only a single harpy, their siren, remained. Shattered but still breathing, she was bound and questioned, compelled to barter secrets for the few breaths that remained to her. 7 questions for a dying woman. She spoke of Resk, the research executive of science and knowledge. Of Nameless, marked as a new variable, whose very existence unsettled equations best left undisturbed. Of Saber, accused of crafting a thing called the Free Will Codex, though he claimed no memory of such an act. Stag's presence here was no accident. Those who cover resilience are always eager to break it apart, searching for secrets in the marrow of the steadfast. The harpy's terror of her master outweighed any fear of us. When her words faded, Fractis and I did what was necessary, ensuring that her end came swiftly by hands neither cruel nor eager. We had little time to weigh her truths. The voice of Resk crackled through the facility's loudspeakers, jeering and sneering at our defiance. He mocked our choices, spat insults, and bade us give his regards to Tomathan, his old master. For Nameless and Saber, it was too much. Bullets and magic silenced the speakers. But this small rebellion cost us dearly. The plant's security system roared to life, sealing the vaults and trapping most of the precious machinery we had hoped to recover. In the stifling aftermath, Fractis lingered, working a silent miracle with will and faith, gathering what little salvage could be taken. He lingered behind as the vault sealed, gathering what spoils he could in those fleeting moments. 4 batteries, 8 fuses. Meager spoils, but not nothing. Only after the way was barred did he disappear in a shimmer of holy light, returning to us with the sparse remnants of what might have been won. We limped from ruin to refuge, heavy with loss and suspicion, and turned our steps towards the church. There, Admiral Lockhart awaited, her bearing crisp, her eyes shadowed by sleepless responsibility. She thanked us for defusing the bomb, yet her gratitude was brittle, eclipsed by a new crisis, The refugees in her care teetered on the brink of starvation. The church's storerooms were bare, and the city's generosity had run dry. Lockhart spoke of 2 roads forward. North, the old greenhouse, once watched over by its devoted caretaker, who perished beside Evelina in the city's darkest hour. Now it lies tangled with wild growth, and, if Sarah's map can be trusted, haunted by a scary red guy who prowls its forgotten holes. Or to the east, Tomatin's Manor, fortified, opulent, its cellars and pantries filled by the hand of a man whose charity served only himself. She confessed her contempt for him, and did not hide her willingness to seize what was needed by force if peaceful bargaining failed. For my soldiers, for these people, I will risk blood if that is what it takes. Her resolve was met with unease. Fractis stared into the candlelight, wordless disappointment settling over him like dust. Saber, voice cold and precise, rebuked her for the very violence she claimed to abhor, reminding her that conquest is not the birthright of the righteous. My reply was measured yet clear, that our willingness to aid her was born of hope for a gentler way. If she would choose instead to stain her hands with what was not freely given, she might discover that the Church's cause no longer holds our trust. Lockhart's jaw tightened, but she yielded, for now. She agreed to let us seek a gentler answer, to try the greenhouse before considering war. But her warning lingered in the air like incense after the dead have been laid to rest. If the city starved and hope failed, she would act without hesitation, whatever the price. With the red moon still distant, yet looming in every thought, we were left to wrestle with uneasy choices and the dwindling currency of time. The city waited in stillness, and so did we, bracing for the cost that would soon be asked of us all.